my channel, Wisconsin Hugs. My name is Tony Grillo, and I am a truck driver, and I also have this YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is kind of like my hobby. It's my fun thing to do while I'm on the road. I try to keep things interesting on my channel, like talk about live bands. I'll maybe share a ghost story. Maybe I'll talk about some of the cool places I've been to, and I basically want to talk about things that I find interesting. And I also want to say hi to my girlfriend Elizabeth. We've been together 2 months. She's awesome, and I really enjoy having her in my life. I even wrote her a song. It's kind of a funny song. It happened while we were first dating. We were cooking together, and we happened to run out of black pepper. And I wasn't too happy about that because I like black pepper on my corn on the cob. And so I wrote a song about that. And we actually did get in a little bit of a fight over the black pepper because I kind of accused her of using up all my black pepper in her cooking because she's been cooking a lot for me, and I was a jerk, I'll admit it, but I wrote a song about it, and so that's kind of fun I like to do on my YouTube channel. But I do like to talk about interesting things, and one of the things I wanted to talk about today was the Kiely Rodni case. I want to share my thoughts on this case. For those of you that don't know, Kiely Rodni, this is an ongoing investigation right now. That's been occurring, and it's happening in real time. And so Kiely is a beautiful 16-year-old girl, highly intelligent, graduated ahead of her class. So she was 16 years old, graduating with 8, 17, and 18-year-olds. So she was a couple years ahead, and she was going to go to college, and she goes to a party, and she never came home. And she was missing for 2 weeks, and there was a massive search out in Truckee, California. That's where she lived, and apparently Truckee itself sounds like a really fun little town. It's got lots of lakes and mountains, and you can go fishing, you can go skiing in the winter, and it's a small town, everybody knows everybody. Just sounds like a wonderful place to live. And apparently Kiely's parents owned a lodge in Truckee, and so people could rent cabins, and apparently it's actually just sounds like a wonderful town, and so there was a search for Kiely, and from what AWP, Adventures with Purpose, they are an internet group that eventually found Kiely, but that's what they specialize in. But anyways, the police had searched the lake. It was Prosser Lake, and they said that Kiely wasn't in the lake, and they searched another lake. I think it was called Loco Lake, and essentially Kiely wasn't found. She was missing, and her friends really didn't offer much to the police to help them out, as to what happened to Kiely. Or if they did, the police are being very tight-lipped about it. But the fact is, she was missing 2 weeks, and finally, Adventures with Purpose, a group that they've solved a lot of cases over the years. That's what they do. They have a YouTube channel. That's how they make their money. And they offered their services. They called law enforcement and said, hey, we would like to help you guys out, do a search. And they were like, sure, why don't you come out, so 35 minutes into their search, they find Kiely's car in the lake. Apparently the lake, they searched in a spot that was not too far from where the access road leads right into the lake, and she was found. The car was found upside down in 15 feet of water, and a lot of people are scratching their heads going, how did the police miss that? And AWP says, well, they have experience because that's what they do. They learn every day. Every time they do a search, they learn something new, and and they have the equipment that police probably don't have. And so they were able to find Kiely 35 minutes, And so this case has gotten a lot of attention because there's so much speculation out there. There's the fact that the police don't look very professional is one factor. For all of us outside looking in, we look at the police and we're like, okay, why did it take them 2 weeks? I mean, they didn't even find the car. The car was in the water 2 weeks, and they couldn't find it in 15 feet of water. And then some other group comes in and they find it in 35 minutes. What's up with that? And then when they pull the car out, they left a computer, a laptop that belonged to Kiely. They left it in the water. Some other guy shows up in a little boat, and he's hovering over the spot where the car was found. He dips his phone into the water, and sure enough, he sees a laptop in the bottom of the lake, and he calls the sheriff's office. It took him hours till somebody finally grudgingly went out there to get the computer, and so there's this lack of professionalism there, and you kind of wonder what's going on. You also hear stories that apparently the kids that are at the party have been told by their parents to not say a word because a lot of them are going to go to college and they don't want to be associated if if there is a crime. They don't want their lives ruined, and so they're not saying a whole lot if something bad happened or not. And then there's also apparently kids are related to some of the police officers that are handling the investigation of the case. So you get to a point where, as an outsider, you just don't trust the local police that is handling the case. You're at a point now where you're like, I don't trust them. I don't trust anything they say. I trust more what AWP has to say than I do what the police has to say. And so we got basically 4 scenarios, because all we can do is speculate. 4 different things that could have happened to Kiely. The first one is that, she called her mom, or texted her mom at like 12:30 in the morning, and she was saying, hey, I'll be leaving the party probably in about an hour, and I'm coming home. And then her mom, she never did come home, So one of the scenarios that we think might have happened is that Kiely left the party, and there was one person said that the road had been blocked off by a car that was playing music, and so Kiely may have tried to find another way out of the party, and So she was heading down the road, and she may have just drove down to the access road and drove right directly into the lake. That's one theory. And there's people there at the party that some of her friends said she was really heavily intoxicated. And so I don't know, why would your friends let you drive drunk? But so if she was heavily intoxicated, she might have drove right into the lake and then she it winds up being an accident. The second scenario that we have is that it was said by some people there that she may have met some boys that were there, because it is pretty much confirmed by AWP and by some other people that were there that there was at least 400 people that came to this party. So you had adults that were there partying with teenagers, and that shouldn't have been there, but they were. And so we don't know what all was brought to that party. We don't know what was being done out there. And that's maybe another reason why these everybody that was at the party is kind of staying tight-lipped about everything. But there's speculation that she met some people there, and then worst case scenario, she was sexually assaulted, killed, and then her car and her body were pushed into the lake, or driven into the lake, or whatever. It could have been one person, maybe it could have been multiple people. We don't know. That's another speculation. One of her friends did say that she thought she saw Kiely, leaving with some other guys. The third scenario that we have is it could have been a senior prank gone wrong, and maybe Kiely texted a message to her mom, and she was probably very tired. Maybe she was intoxicated. She passed out, and the people there at the party, whether it was her friends or whether it was maybe other people that weren't her friends, anyways, maybe those people there thought it might be funny that they push her car into the water, and then when they realized she didn't wake up, or that she didn't make it out of the car, all of a sudden they got the heck out of there. And it was reported by some people that were camping at that lake, Prosser Lake campgrounds, that there was a big mass exodus shortly after Kiely had texted her message to her mom. They said that a big mass exodus occurred at that lake, at the party. That just suddenly everybody just left all at the same time, and it occurred maybe shortly after Kiely left her message. So that's another scenario. Then we have the fourth scenario, and this involves a tow truck driver who AWP put on their video. They say he's very credible, and he also has dash cam evidence. And so he claims he knew nothing about Kiely, and that. But anyways, he was called out to do a battery jump on a car that was Kiely's car, and he claims he talked to a guy and a girl that looked like Kiely, and talked to a guy that has the next day. This was a day after the party, and that he had seen those two, and he had a conversation, and everything's captured on dash cam. So and then so now you're wondering, okay, was that Kiely in the video, or was that two people? Was that Kiely's car that was in that video? And then and then maybe the police did a search of the lake, and then, and they deemed that Kiely wasn't there, and the car wasn't there, and then maybe later, that car was pushed into the lake after the police did the search. So, I don't know, we have 4 different scenarios that could have happened with this. And so, we also have the strange behavior of Kiely's mom. And, Kiely's mom appears to be a buddy mom. And she's apparently buddies with her kid. She was apparently buddies with Kiely's friends. And apparently she has a best friend that is on the police department as well. That is also, I guess, is the coroner, and is also a medical examiner as well. Apparently the cops out there wear many hats. And so we're left wondering, and basically from her mom's behavior, she's acting like it was just a total accident. And she's not at all behaving like a mom that's angry about her daughter dying under suspicious activity. I mean, we hear stories like this all the time. Beautiful young girl goes to a party, winds up, a lot of people are there, she winds up dead, and it turns out it's usually because somebody there at the party attacked her, tried to rape her, and then killed her, and that's usually how that works. And so the fact that the mom is behaving, she's angry at social media, she's angry, she's telling people, we got this. Well, no, you don't got this. You don't got it because it took a social media group to find your daughter in the lake. Your police officers didn't find her. They took AWP to find your daughter. And so, no, you don't got this. Any credibility that your police department had was lost. Totally lost. And, the fact that AWP says the FBI is involved, that gives me a little bit of relief because, it just seems like the police there are so unprofessional. They lost all credibility. I don't believe anything they say. I really don't. I believe AWP over anything that the police department in that city has to say about anything out there. I just, their behavior is so unprofessional. In Wisconsin, I don't know, a bunch of years back, I'm a volunteer. I was a volunteer fire department for many years, and I worked with the police department in Dodge County, and they had a case there where the Wisconsin Attorney General, the top cop of Wisconsin, her name was Peggy Lautenschlager. She went off the road in Dodge County. She was driving between Madison and Fond du Lac. And there's a highway that runs 151. It runs right between the two. It's probably about an hour and 20-minute drive, and she went off the road, and the cops, sheriffs showed up, and, they realized she was drunk, and they didn't treat her any more special than anyone else, and that's what credibility is all about. That's what integrity all about. They're like, hey, we don't care if you're the top cop in Wisconsin, we're still going to demand that you do a DUI test. Well, Peggy Lautenschlager refused to do a DUI, and she was driving a state-owned vehicle when she went off the road, and she refused the DUI, and she pled to, no contest or something. And so, here she is getting busted. The top cop in Wisconsin got busted for a DUI. So she lost her job. When the term came up, I believe she lost in the primary. She didn't even get to run for her job. The Democrats sent somebody else in there against her, and then that person wound up losing in a Republican sweep that year. We had Scott Walker come in, he became governor, and we had a Republican attorney general as well. So, but that's what integrity is, just because you're the top cop in Wisconsin doesn't mean you get treated any differently. You were breaking the law. You were driving drunk. So, you look at what's going on in Truckee, and we're just shaking our heads. As an outsider looking in, it really, the professionalism isn't there. It's not there. So, the other thing you got to do, though, we have to realize, though, is we have to let the cops do their job. And it's going to take time. We're seeing this in real time. We're watching everything. We want answers now. We want to know. We want all the info. Because we do. We just want to know. And it's an ongoing investigation, and the police are still figuring out. I mean, it's going to take weeks to do the autopsy and the toxicology report, and sadly, if we don't know if she was wearing clothes or if she was naked, or we really don't know how she was found in the car. And also that lake water, I've seen videos where lake water, especially if she was there 2 weeks, it's going to pretty much wash away all DNA. If there was a crime committed and a rape was occurred, it's going to pretty much wash away all DNA evidence. So we don't know. We really don't know, and that's all we can do is speculate. We're just going to have to wait for the autopsy, and we're going to just have to let the police do their job. I mean, we had a case just not that long ago happened in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where this mom went to see a live band, and then she never came home. And apparently her blood was found on a curb of the house, and then her body was found in a field. And the boyfriend was arrested and charged with the murder, but as the police kept doing they didn't stop after they arrested the boyfriend. They kept doing their investigation. They kept, they wanted to make sure they got it right. And while they were videoing the police interrogations, they realized he wore a Fitbit on his wrist. And they're like, hey, we can examine that Fitbit, and see if he was wearing it, that night, when she was killed. And sure enough, he was wearing the Fitbit, because the Fitbit showed that he was wearing it all night. And it basically showed that he got up twice to use the bathroom, and then he went back to bed. So the Fitbit actually cleared him of the crime. And then the police had to go and find the real killer. And it took them about 3 months. And then they finally found the real killer. Now, the interesting scenario about the real killer is that he claimed he had met the girl. He met the mom. He had met her at a bar. She apparently left the one bar. She went to another bar. They met. They were talking. They had drinks. And then she's like, can I ask you for a ride home? And he took her home. And then what he claimed is, he claimed that they were having sex outside the house, and the boyfriend attacked him, and he knocked him out with whatever it was. And this was a big guy. He was a huge guy. But he claimed the boyfriend had knocked him out, and then when he came conscious, he found her dead, and he freaked out because he had a jail wreck. He had a history of jail, being in jail, and he had a criminal record, and he was scared that he was going to get pinned for this murder that he didn't commit. And And so he panicked, and he drove her to a field and just left her there, and then he went fishing with his buddies the next day. And they have pictures where he has bruises on his knuckles. So his story, didn't really jive, especially with the bruises that were on his hands, where they took pictures of him as he was fishing. That and the Fitbit, the boyfriend's Fitbit, proved that he couldn't have done the murder anyway. So it took them about 4 months to finally get it right, and to catch the guy. And that's what we're going to need with Kiely as well. We're just going to need the police to do their job. We want them to get it right. And so they're going to have to sort through everything. And here's the sad thing. It may wind up being inconclusive. They may not be able to get enough evidence to say, hey, there's a crime. Crime has been committed. They might not be able to do it. And so we just don't know. We're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to be patient, and let the police do their job. And they got the FBI involved. And, AWP has said that, they think there was 400 people there at that party. And, somebody knows something, and eventually somebody's going to crack and somebody's going to say something. And I'm hoping we will eventually get to the truth, because Kiely deserves that, whether it is an accident or whether it was a senior prank gone wrong or whether there was criminal activity, and it was a murder. We'll find out. I hope we find out, and we just have to be patient. So, but that's about all I have to say about, the Kiely Rodni case. And so I just hope you all have a great day. And, make sure when you go to parties, you don't abandon your friends. You watch your friends back and they watch your back, that's what you got, especially if you're a young lady, and don't go running off with strangers. That's, but it's pretty clear that, I don't know if Kiely had friends. I just don't know. I mean, sometimes I wonder if, there was some jealousy there. Here she was, 16, graduating ahead of her class, hanging around with a bunch of 18-year-olds. One of her friends said that Kiely was the one supplying the beer. That everybody was going to Kiely's car to get beer and alcohol. I mean, I can't imagine a 16-year-old being in charge of a party like this, but, maybe Buddy Mom bought the alcohol. I don't know. We just don't know. We don't know anything. There's a whole lot of speculation going on out there, and we're just going to have to wait, and hopefully the police will get it right. They'll, we'll know the truth, and truth will come out, and, if it is criminal activity, Kiely, will get justice, and that's all we can hope and pray for, and pray for her family too as well, because they're going through some major grief, and I think the police really need to be honest with the public, because we are paying attention. Everybody around the world, I mean, there's a guy from Great Britain called Harsh Reality or something like that. Every day he's putting up 2 or 3 videos just about Kiely, so it's getting worldwide attention. I'm in Wisconsin, and so I'm following this case, and so the public is watching, and so I think the police are really going to have to be forthright, and they're going to have to, when they finally reach their verdict, they're going to have to put out all the information that they got, all their evidence. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of angry people, and there's there's going to be that shadow of doubt, you know, and that's all we need. That's all we ask for. We want justice, and we want you know, the truth. So, and that's basically all I have to say. So, all right, everybody. Hope you have a great day. Peace. I'm out of here. Love. Bye. Bye.